Alright. Hello guys, this is Nizzy and welcome to the video. Today's video is called Road to Hell, the future of ARPG. In this video, I'd be talking about my musings and opinions on where I think the ARPG genre is headed, especially as brought about by recent events, and the biggest being the release of Diablo 4. So without further ado, let's get into it. So now before I go into the weeds of my opinions, of what my opinions are, let me give a proper framework of why I'm using Diablo as a sounding off board on this whole opinion thing of mine. Now Diablo 4 is relevant to anything pertaining to ARPGs because it gave birth to the ARPG genre, in case you didn't know. Diablo 1 was the first game of its kind, the first ARPG game. Now having said that, let me also tell you a story. uh, there's a man that I admire in the software development industry whose name is Joel Spolsky. Now, this guy wrote an article 10 to 15 years ago. Now, this article was about his take, as I understand it, on a trend during that time. Uh, you see, during that time, there was a shortage in software developers. And as a result, certain educational institutions thought that it would be a good idea to offer a watered down computer science course so that more people could take the course and fill up the workforce. Now, Joe Spolsky theorized that if that trend continued, we would see people who knew how to code but who did not know how to write good software. And he said that that wouldn't be a good thing. You would see people who knew how to use the tools, but who did not know why the tools were being used in the first place. So I mentioned that story because, like him, I'm starting to see a new approach to playing games. Now, back in the day, when you played a game, it was understood that you slugged through the whole of it, no matter how hard, how tedious, or how slow it was. It was just how things were done. It was even a badge of honor for you to do that. But today, that seems to no longer be the case. Today, everyone seems to just want to get to the end game and experience that part. And everything before that, everyone seems to want to skip, or at least most would like to skip. And I'd like to call that new approach that I'm seeing the chore approach to playing games. So this mindset just wants to get to the end game, and everything before that is treated like a chore to be avoided or skipped or delegated if could be. Now you would see the evidence of this in the various Discord forums and Discord servers, wherein there's no shortage of people offering boosts, and in the same degree, there's no shortage of people availing of them, and not just people who are availing them for their alts, because that's who would want to repeat the same campaign, right? But I see people wanting boosts for their first characters, for the first time in playing the campaign, to help them boost while they're playing the campaign, to be boosted while playing the campaign. And that's a little bit funny to me. But seriously, I'm starting to see a new breed with this mindset of people who are more like pilots than gamers. They are the ones who wants to pilot this new awesome build for the end game, but not be willing, or at least wants to skip the early stages of building up that character that brings one to that point, to that level, to that part of the game. Now, who's to say if that's good or bad? Perhaps I'm wrong. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. But, anyways, it's up to the gaming studio if they would implement that, right? That brings me to my second point. It seems that gaming studios these days are in a no win situation. Why? Because either they cave in and give to the demand of the gaming community, or they sacrifice their vision. Let me explain. This new approach to gaming, as I see, as I see it, if this trend continues, The demands that this kind of mindset would ask is those that or are those that would help make the experience of getting to the end game quicker or smoother or more efficient. People would tend to ask for things that would help them get to the end game as quick as possible. Now, I think that that would eat in to the other parts of the game. That would sacrifice perhaps the immersion of the other parts of the game. That would break something that is meant to be enjoyed in the game. Now, the gaming studios could, of course, always ignore that request. But what would happen to them? They'd get criticized. They would get bombed in social media. But if they did cave in and give to the demand of the community, those demands, whatever those would be, they might end up sacrificing part or whole of their vision. And you have to understand, these people had the original idea for the game. It's not like someone told them to implement the idea of Diablo. They themselves came up with that idea. So it means, as the people who had the original vision, they have a certain level of expertise, which us as mere consumers of that vision will never have. It may be a thin one or a small part, but it is there, and we have to respect that. And if our demands would force them to sacrifice whole or part of that vision, they may end up sacrificing a part of the game that would make the game good in the first place in the long run. So it's something to think about. Anyway, that's all that I think. Perhaps you agree. If you have any reaction, good or bad, please sound them off in the comments. And if this content like this intrigues you, or at least makes you curious, please consider clicking the like and subscribe button. It will help this channel a lot. Thank you, as always, for dropping in. See you in the next one.